Hey folks, KILT-MAN here. KILT-MAN at your xenomorphic services. How are you all? We're all doing very, very well. Now, here's a review of Alien Romulus. Now, I was lucky enough to see it last night at one of the last advanced screenings. And I thought, well, what I'll do, I'll do a non-spoiler review. And then I've just been informed by our good friend Steve 007 Smith. All right, mate, he's about to see Alien Romulus right now at the time of this recording. He's the guy that bestows all these fabulous movie canvases which you see bedecked around the KILT mansion. And he just said to me, oh, no, the spoiler reviews are out now already. So I thought, oh shit, what am I going to do now? So what I might do is do this mullet style. I'll do non-spoilery stuff up front, and then with a mother style countdown, we'll leap into the spoiler territory at the end. Because I know a lot of people haven't seen it yet in the UK. It only officially opens right now in the UK. So, but the Yanks have had it for a long time. And in Australia as well, you've had it. And in Germany. So, a lot of people have seen it already. But I'll endeavour to follow this non-spoilery path for a while. So, Fede Alvarez takes over the xenomorphic reins in the long-running and much loved but often maligned franchise of Alien. And yeah, let's not go through all the background, we don't need any of that. Fede Alvarez is a great director of horror and tension and putting people in really dire situations, and that includes the audience as well. And I mean, I love his Evil Dead. I didn't at first. I disliked his Evil Dead immediately from day one because I didn't like any of the characters at all. But the film has since grown upon me, and I do like Don't Breathe quite a bit. But anyway, so a younger cast are thrust into the Alien universe, and that cast a few doubts in a lot of people's minds, mine included. And the trailers, God, this film's been marketed so much. It's almost like a marketing supernova that's taken place. Think the explosion of the Nostromo and the refinery at the end of Alien. That's the marketing hype. The hype train has hit us at full speed, full throttle. And a deluge of trailers, then all the TV spots, tons and tons of blairbage coming out, and people like Ridley Scott saying it's the best fucking movie you're ever going to see. It's a fucking good. He's a potty mouth, Sir Ridley, potty mouth. And James Cameron was a staunch defender of it, although he has since retracted his support for this movie, and we'll endeavour to discuss why in the mullet section if we get that far. But anyway, so one of the biggest movies of the year, beyond any shadow of a doubt. It's absolutely huge. The trailers, I reviewed a few of the trailers, and I had misgivings about the dialogue. There's something in the fucking water, and it's just, whoa, come on. Wait, is it Sir Ridley? Anyway, sit back, grab a tipple of your favourite beverage, and let's get into this. Cheers, y'all. Happy bug hunting. Set between the events of Alien and Aliens, we have Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez and written by Fede Alvarez and Rodo Sayaguz, or something like that. I made copious notes at the screening last night in the dark. It's never a good idea because you can't decipher them afterwards. But and then in the pub afterwards, I was trying to transfer the written notes onto my phone. You can't put your phone on while you're in there. You shouldn't be doing that, by the way. And write your little notes and all that. But I wrote notes, and they're kind of garbled, to be honest. It's a film I need to see again. I know that for a fact. No matter what my feelings about the film are, which you'll find out, I've got to see it again because there's bits I just went. Now I'm going. Why did she? How did she know it was going to do? Anyway, Weyland-Yutani have myelin colonies up the wazoo and back, and this little dirtball planet, a ringed planet, Jackson's star, the myelin colonies there, and they're treated like slaves. I just thought, this is Blade Runner. this is just pure Blade Runner, which I think is a great thing. Blade Runner, Outland, and Alien universes do accidentally coexist, and you can sit back and watch all three of these franchises. Well, Outland's not a franchise, wish it was, but and imagine they exist in the same sort of era and the same sort of style of business and corporation, tyrannical rule and corruption, but and replicants and stuff like that. And our main hero, Rain, played by Kaylee Spaney. It's like Spotty Dotty, Kaylee Spaney, something like that anyway. And she's worked hard and she wants a holiday. I've worked all the hours God sent, I just want to go on holiday. Well, you can't, because your contract's been extended. You must work more, harder, more hours of the day. You can't go anywhere. Now, Rain has been orphaned because it's a very inhospitable atmosphere and people die. They work hard and they're busted down and they die. So she's only got her android brother, Andy, played by David Johnson. Now, her father programmed Andy to be her protector, her confidant, her companion, her sibling. But he's got a few glitches. They always do. You know, the A2s always were a bit twitchy, weren't they? And so you've got this couple, and they've got a bunch of friends. And I'm going to get these names wrong. You've got Tyler and Bjorn, and Kay and Navarro. And they're friends. I think Rain went out with Tyler, I think they did earlier, and you've got Kay is pregnant to Bjorn. I think that's right anyway. But they've got this idea. They're only young, they're 20-somethings, young 20-somethings. Let's get off this fucking planet, it's a shithole. How are we going to do that? Well, up there's a derelict space station. Now I reckon in there, if we take one of the mining ships, we'll fly up there and we can find some stasis tubes and the fuel to keep them going. And then we can go out to this other idyllic planet. I don't know how far away it is, but that's their plan. They hatched this plan. So they're going to fly out, you know, surreptitiously and invade this derelict space station called Romulus. It's Romulus and Remus. There's two parts to it, Romulus and Remus. And yeah, we know our histories and mythologies and all that, so we know, you know, all that. And we're going to raid this place, but we're going to need Andy, the synthetic. You know, we're going to need him, the artificial person, because he'll be able to patch into the space station's computer systems, and he'll be able to override things and get us into places, and he'll get the full layout. So we need him, even though they don't like him. He gets picked on quite a bit. And these opening scenes are actually pretty good at world building, and I did enjoy the first act quite a bit, to be honest. In the trailers, I hated these characters because they were just too young. Oh, my own personal bias there, but and they were too cockney or mockney cockney. There was a bit of Mancunian thrown in as well, which just didn't work. And I thought the dialogue was atrocious in the trailers. It didn't bother me, you know. Well, some dialogue did, but we'll get on to that. And I didn't particularly like anybody, but I didn't dislike them either. So I was along for the ride, but I was enjoying the world building aspects of it. The visuals superb, and it felt big in scope. And you got the geography of the planet, the rings with the asteroid belt, like, and traveling up there. Of course, the Romulus is a Weyland-Yutani research outpost, which, why is it derelict? What did they find? You know what they found. Come on to that. Something linked to the first movie. A certain somebody, a big chap, is blown out from the Narcissus and just drifts like Darth Vader in space. But for how long? And does he stay there alone? No, he gets found. So, anyway, and you see this, the movie will tell you this straight away in a bit of an expositional dump, but you'll know this right from the word go. So they get there. Ooh, it's deserted. It's a haunted house in space. It is like the Nostromo. But they've got to get in there, and it should be, I think the quote is, in 36 hours we're going to be destroyed. It was meant to be a straight 5-minute in and out job. That's all it should have taken. But every heist goes wrong, doesn't it? And this one certainly does, disastrously. So they get in there, and inadvertently they're going to revive. They find the stasis tubes and all the stuff they need to the long flight to this other planet, and but they need the fuel for it. So, but in trying to get that, they foolishly trigger something which revives a swarm of facehuggers. Yes, if you look close, there's one over there somewhere on the cooker, on the grill, and toasted facehugger. Lovely, you know. Cheers, y'all. And it does give you acid indigestion, though, I've found. So, from that point onwards, they're beleaguered, they're attacked. The Romulus becomes like just the world's worst escape room. They've got to try to get out of this, get into that, and get on the ship and do that, and blah, 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 blah. All the time assailed by facehuggers. And, yes, a buzzing fly has entered the room. I need to find a way to trigger the airlock and blast its ass back out into the wild. God. They will encounter other creatures. Betrayal. Chestbursters. Big Xenos. And yes. Oh God, how can I... No, I see that for the mullet. There's someone else aboard the Romulus, a survivor, because clearly what's happened before on the Romulus is very alien-esque. Yes, they've all died. And now they've reignited what killed them in the first place. But there's someone aboard that knows all about it. And not only that, there is a compound mixture of black goo. Oh dear God, the black goo from Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I mean, I know there's fans of those movies. That there are, trust me, that there are. They're out there. Be careful. Don't go near them. But I never liked the black goo. It was Ridley Scott. Well, Prometheus exists in the same universe as Alien. Oh, Ridley, shut up. And then you got Covenant, which just expanded it. But you got a fucking xenomorph in that movie. Well, a few of them. But it's the whole philosophy and intellectualizing of it, and like the engineers. Oh, Jesus. And the space jockey's actually an engineer. Oh, no. No. Ridley, what did you do? You started this, although with Alien, you did rip off completely Planet of the Vampires by Mario Bava, visually, and The Terror from Beyond Space. I mean, I've done videos on this, but you guys, you're genre buffs and you know it anyway. But they created their own beast. From nothing's original anyway, nothing. So you can't knock Alien for, oh, we ripped off these Alien movies, which most American audiences won't even know about. But we all did. But it didn't matter, because Alien's a masterpiece in suspense, lived in authenticity, sweaty blue collar workers, you know, and it genuinely works. When I come back last night, and I've had a few drinks, and my son is seeing Romulus today with his mates a bit later on, but he went, I've watched everything else in the run up to this, but I want to watch Alien in 4K. Do you want to watch it now? And I've just come back and I was like, oh, I've got to transpire me notes. Translate them. They were fucking written so badly. I was writing them down in a pub at the bar whilst being up-kilted. Yeah. Exciting times. You think it's scary in space? Well, once that kilt was lifted, you know, everybody could hear them scream. Cheers, y'all. So we watched Alien in 4K last night. I didn't fall asleep because it's fantastic. And it showed everything that Fede Alvarez tried to do with Romulus. And in some cases succeeded, but in many failed. Okay, right. Here's I've told you the basic synopsis there, in a roundabout, ramshackle sort of way. But when it gets to the mullet part, my son, who's here, he's upstairs, he doesn't know, so I'm gonna have to keep that bit quiet. Ah, oh, damn, I should have thought about that beforehand, shouldn't I? But anyway, Fede Alvarez is a great director of suspense and ensemble casts and unlikable characters who are thrust into really horrible situations. Now, Andy, the synth, played by David Johnson, who I'd never seen before. Even before I'd seen the film, the people that had in America were raving about his performance. Oh, he's brilliant, you know, God, he's the standout star of it. He's very good, but I didn't think, wow, you're a really impressive actor. I did not think that at all. I thought you're okay in the role. And now someone's knocking at the door. Just 1 second. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fucking hell. You wouldn't believe it. It wasn't even for me. Can I take this in for somebody else? Unbelievable. I'm pulling the drawbridge up next time. No fucking visitors when I'm doing a video. Unbelievable. Where was I up to? Now, this learned critique of Alien Romulus. What was I talking about? Fede Alvarez is great at putting people in drastic situations and that. I feel I've just been through that, haven't I? Fucking interruptions, man. No, it was David Johnson, wasn't it? Yeah, he's great in the role. Now, cleverly, he's malfunctioning already. And we know they're twitchy. We know that. But also, he's compassionate, he's good, he's kind-hearted. He's picked on and bullied, but they need him. And Rain and him have a great relationship. But things will happen aboard the Romulus. A certain chip will be taken out of somebody else and put into his head, and he'll be reprogrammed. Yeah, Weyland-Yutani have a mission in mind, and the mission comes first. So he will then become someone that from a naive character, a naive but likable character who is out to help everybody, can't put humans in any danger, but he can sacrifice people if it means for the greater good. And I'm alluding to things there, obviously. But he goes from naivety to command, power, a sort of tyranny, and can you trust him? And for a while, you don't know that, and no, in fact, you can't, because he's under control of Weyland-Yutani. But so, I mean, by now you've realised it's a research outpost for Yutani, and they have got the big chap found in a cocoon, like from space, and the masked men will begin to experiment on him, and of course they'll create facehuggers, and they'll be wiped out by these, and all this will take place. We don't see any of this, but you see the aftermath of it and all, and but they will create Xenos again, and the whole life cycle begins. But Fede Alvarez will add an entirely new element, and this is the point at which Ridley Scott comes in, because the black goo plays a big part in the final act of this movie. And the final act of this movie, as you've already read and probably heard, oh, it's wild, it's off its tits, it's crazy, it's insane, and it's divisive. Oh yes, it is divisive. I knew what was coming, I'll be honest, and I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. I thought the effect for the new creature was poor, and the whole thing felt just rushed and really, square pegs, round holes. They just bashed it in there. They didn't need to do it, but it's one of those. You don't seem to have an Alien film since the first three, well, the first four, because even Alien Resurrection goes out on its own tangent. The first 4 movies are all brilliant in their own way. Yeah, we don't like or love Resurrection, but at least it was brave enough to do something different. They took the idea of xenomorphs and they aliens, facehuggers and that, and they did go in different directions. Alien is a masterpiece. Aliens is a masterpiece. Alien 3, the assembly cut, I think is genius. I love it, but it's some way down from the first 2. But I admire its bravery in killing off main characters and being dark, dreary, somber, and an out-and-out, balls-out horror movie as well. Alien, horror movie. Sci-fi horror movie. Aliens, sci-fi action adventure. That's what it is, with little bits of horror. Alien 3, it's pure horror. Gothic, space-born horror. And I love it. Alien Resurrection, comic book movie. It's all over the show. It doesn't know which direction it wants to go in. Tonally, it's massive upheaval every few minutes. Visually, it's quite sumptuous, and all 4 movies have great scores, great musical scores. So they're atmospheric, but then you get Prometheus, and then you get Covenant, and they're completely different. And the haphazard way of like trying to bolt them in to the Alien universe and trying to tie them into the timeline and continuity, sadly has been borne out in Romulus. There's no getting around it. This is trying to connect Alien to Aliens, and also the whole Prometheus style of things with the black goo. That bloody black goo, black poo it is. I hate it. The whole DNA, engineers, and Weyland-Yutani's bio-warfare, mechanical, bloody chemistry, biological shite. I hate that stuff. It does nothing for me at all. I want a scary horror movie. So, Fede Alvarez, Evil Dead, Don't Breathe. Can do scary movies, can do intense situations, and he puts this cast through the ringer. Many attacks, chases, sealed in a room, got to try and get out of a room, you've got to do this, you've got to go there. Is this an ambush? Could be a trap. Oh my god. Hang on, you've got something inside you. Yes, chest bursters. You've got all that stuff, and you've got a pregnant woman as well. See, even before the mullety bit, alluding to black goo, a certain injection, a pregnant woman. The final act is dizzy. It's exciting. The film is exciting. It's never boring. That's a plus point in movies today. It's never boring. It's just shy of 2 hours, and it moves at a lightning pace. A lot of people have said, in fact, it was coming out, they said, oh, the first hour was so slow. But I was thinking, like, well, hang on a minute. I don't think it was slow. I thought that was probably the best bit. The first hour, where you're getting to know the characters and you're getting to know what's happened on Romulus, what is about to happen. Because we're ahead of them, to be honest. We know what's going to go on. But the world-building stuff was actually quite impressive. I liked it. I wanted more of that, if I'm honest with you. And then things just go, it's just chase, hide, chase, death, chase. Not that many deaths, to be honest. And chest bursts and other bear things. Right. And it is exciting. Don't get me wrong, it's exciting. But as a film itself, it is the actual review part. Visually, this is sumptuous. The cinematography is really beautiful. The colours, everything. The sound design is super impressive. Wow, it's driving, it's fully immersive. It is exciting and exhilarating. The acting is okay. The story is perfunctory. Could have gone places. Does go places, but a place that I didn't want it to go to. But that's just me. That's just me. Is it scary? No. Is it gory? No. Yes, a little bit. But I come back and watched Alien, and I'm afraid Alien tops it for disturbing sequences and for gore. And for everyone who's out there, all the hype machine that has said it's the gnarliest, the nastiest, the most disturbing, it's the goriest. It's none of those things. It's none. It's surprisingly tame. You want Xeno action? I'm afraid you go back to Alien and Aliens. That's what you do. Because you don't get it much in this. The Xenos, yeah, the scorched Xeno and all. Yes, you've got that. You've got acid baths and all that. But really speaking, the Xenos are in it, action-wise, probably about 10 minutes tops. Oh dear, you didn't expect that, did you? You expected a lot of Xeno action because they really pushed that. They really promoted that. You barely get them. Oh, they're still pretty good. And it's Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. who worked on the original Xenomorph costumes for Aliens. They brought them back in. And Fede Alvarez, 90%. I think I said more. I think it's like 95% of the effects are all practical. I really take umbrage with that. I don't think half as many as he makes out are practical. But them fucking facehuggers swarming down corridors, hurtling through those doors and getting on, they're not fucking practical effects. Don't give me that shit. And but it looks alright though. But I wasn't afraid during any of this, not once, whereas come back and watch Alien and I was shitting my pants again. And I don't wear pants. As you can see, I didn't wear pants. And but I wasn't scared. I was excited. It's a thrilling enough event, and it's an event movie without a doubt. And with a good crowd around you, I won't say anyone leapt out their seats or screamed or oohed and ahed. They did curse a bit, because we'll get onto this. But I think he's made a very competent movie, it's a fun watch. It doesn't break any new ground at all. It's just another sci-fi adventure. If you take the Alien moniker off it, it could be anything. It could be a Roger Corman movie. It could be a Roger Corman rip-off of Alien from the early 80s, and he made many of them. You know, there's nothing particularly dazzling about this. It doesn't push the envelope at all. So, right, I think we're going to have to move into mullet territory, aren't we? I hope my son isn't listening. But, oh dear God, here we go. I said this would be ramshackle at the local place. I didn't expect fucking knocks at the door. But you have so many callbacks in this that it's embarrassing. It plays like a greatest hits of the Alien franchise. It has visual, dialogue, musical references. They may want to call it homages or Easter eggs to every single entry. Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Prometheus and Covenant. Everything is covered. And once you start spotting it, you can't stop spotting it, because it's so on the nose, on the snouty, that it becomes distracting, because you're like, oh, did you have to do that? Early on in the movie, you have readouts and things that are obviously from the Nostromo and Aliens and that, and that's okay, I like that. Even the font of the titles is Aliens font. It does it in reverse though. It instead of like slowly building up the word alien, it dissolves the word alien, and I thought that was quite a nice touch. But it has the bobbing, drinking bird, you know, which does all this all the time. They have that, which I liked, because well, it's the same era, and why wouldn't you have that? It doesn't. It's ineffectual. It's not like, you know, hey, look, we've even got the bobbing bird's head as well. Look at that, because we're Alien fans, and we thought you'd like this too. They have the iris doors within the Romulus, which are exactly the same as you had in the air ducts in Alien. My son came up with a great point last night. He said pointing. A great point last night whilst we were watching, or the early hours this morning, watching Alien, when Dallas is in the air shafts, and those, you know, can you close the hatch to, you know, level 3, whatever. The iris closes in. Very gothic, very sort of gothic steampunk, but very Torquemada style thing. He said to me, well, if Dallas has got to move, open that one and then shut that one to get anywhere, how does the fucking alien move anywhere? And I went, He said like, oh, maybe it can use its claws to do manipulate stuff and that. Like, no, I think it's a bit of a, oh shit, they haven't thought about that. Or there could be this other duct ways which it can slide through, but it's bigger than a man. It's big. It's huge. It's like a man. It's bigger than a man. What was his name? Bellagio, the great big 7 foot tall student who played the alien. Might be super thin, but in that suit, with little bony bits on it. And of course, in this film, you've got the Xenos. Okay, well, anyway, but so you've got the iris things, which are nicely reminiscent, but the fucking dialogue, the quotes, there's tons of them. There's too many of them. Oh my god, you have my sympathy and all that, and like, oh, there must be a way. There's got to be a way. There's loads of little drops. I've forgotten half of them. I did write them down somewhere. Is it on that? No, I didn't. Well, not on that sheet of paper anyway. But of course you have, get away from her, you bitch. You knew it was coming, and we all knew it was going to be in there. And oh my god, it's the worst, most pantomimic. Audience, do you want to join in with this now? And it's Andy that says it as well. Get away from her. You bitch! And I kid you not, that pause, that's genuine. He does that pause to let you, oh wow, oh nudge nudge, hey, we're gonna get that line. It's so cringe, it's embarrassing, it's genuinely embarrassing. And the thing is, they didn't need to do it. If you're gonna say it, you could have said it a different way. Hey bitch, get away from here. You could have done something like that. There's a thing about Andy telling jokes badly as well, which again is part of his programming. But he tells dad jokes, and dad jokes are notoriously shit. So he could have done it, you know, it could have been a play on that quote and just saying, you know, hey bitch, you get away from here right now, or I'll ground you for a month. You know, he could have done something just really off the wall, still referencing it, but not doing it like that. Get away from here. You bitch. It's awful, folks. It takes you out the film. And another awful throwback, callback, whatever you want to call it, which takes you out the movie, is, oh, sorry, I should say, mullet-style. You know, T-minus 3 seconds to mullet time. 3, 2, 1, mullet-style. Here we go. Spoilers. Ash is in this movie. Ash, Ian Holm, science officer, Nostromo. How? He was destroyed before the Nostromo was destroyed. Ian Holm is dead. No, the science officer aboard the Romulus, who's found in half, like Bishop at the end of Aliens, he's in half. They bring him, they put him back online, and he knows everything. Oh yes, and he will bring Andy on board. Literally, you know, with Weyland-Yutani's plan, and the mission comes first and all that. By whatever the black goo does and the xenomorphs, we're trying to create, they want to try to create the perfect human, according to his version anyway. So, because they've worked out that the black goo extracted from the Xenos, it brought a dead rat back to life and healed it. Well, we learned it didn't do that exactly. It fucking transformed it, mutated it, and didn't do any good at all. But they're just teething issues. They're all right. You know, we can get around those problems. Early days yet, baby steps, and so that's what they've got in store. The black goo, facehuggers, Xenos, humans. But they bring in Ash, and it's an actor called Daniel Betts plays him, but they then CGI Ian Holm's face over him and use Ian Holm's voice. Well, they use someone doing Ian Holm's voice, or an AI representation of it. And Jesus Christ, in a film which prides itself on, what, 90 to 95% practical effects, you have extensive scenes of Ash. He's not in it just for a cameo. He's in it loads. His name's not Ash in it. His name's Rook. Rook. Like the chess piece. Like the bird. A rook. Like corruption. It's known in certain environments that when you've been ripped off and your files have been suppressed or even doctored, you've been rooked. And what's he doing? He's corrupted everything there. He's doing it physically with the black goo, and he's working with Weyland-Yutani, who lie and twist everything all together. So they call him Rook. And it's also like a chess piece. So you know he's manipulating people into certain situations. But the CG for him is appallingly bad. Appalling. I don't, in this day and age, how can it be so bad? But also, why do you need him? Why did they have to do a callback that obvious, that huge? Oh, look, we're going to put Ash back in it. Wow, because you can't trust Ash. He's the face of Weyland-Yutani. Before we saw faces from Weyland-Yutani. And, oh my God, it'd be great. The fans will love it. I don't know anyone that loved it. I don't know anyone that even liked it. In fact, it was openly despised. And the worst thing is, you don't even need him there. It could have been anyone. It could have been just a data track on the motherboard system that they've got there. They could have learned it all from that. Or have another synthetic person, another artificial person. Have another one, just a different actor. But we all, it's like Ash, it's like Bishop, oh God, yeah, wow. Or like Callie, it's like, but no, they have to go the whole hog and put Ash in there and just rename him. But he even has the same fucking dialogue as well. And it's appallingly bad. And he's wearing the same pale blue shirt as well. It's just, what the hell? Why? And that was a real sinker for me. The thing is, I knew it was coming, but I didn't know how bad it was going to be. And I'd gone in with my expectations massively lowered. And I thought, even when it came on, I thought, you have got to be joking. And then he come back again. Oh God, he's back again. And then he come back again. And again. And again. Like, you God, will you stop showing this twat? It's not working. And it's really ruining the pace and the atmosphere. Because I was with you until you did this. Navarro, who's the sort of Asian pilot of their ship. What's their ship called? The Corbalon, something like that. Their mining ship, which they poached to go out to the derelict, to the Romulus. Yeah. And she'll have a chest bursting. Forget the gore of John Hurt, his chest bursting. Forget any of the previous chest burstings you've seen. This is the tamest ever, and it's lousy. For the effects, wow. H.R. Geiger had sex on the brain. My mate Chris, if he's watching it, Chris actually went to H.R. Geiger's house shortly before Geiger died. He was invited there. He was living out there at the time, and he said, oh, everywhere you went, I mean, we noticed anyway, it was bones, it was paintings, it was sculptures, there was heaps of bones and fragments and relics and stuff, fossils all over the floors, and everything was fashioned into like a big penis or a vaginal opening. The guy was obsessed, and of course that's what you get here. And the chest burster comes out, and the effect is crap. Don't go looking for, it's not gory, folks, it's not gory. And what comes out is a fucking penis. It always was phallic, but they've really gone the extra mile here by giving it blue veins and a big domed head. And I was like, really? We already, you're hitting us in the face with a big dick, a big veiny, gooey dick right in the mush. We're not stupid, we know what's implied by it. But that happens, and I was like, oh, well, that was shit. And again, not gory. What else? Where else was I going to go with the mullets, the mulletings? The Xenos, you barely see them, and they don't do a great deal. There's a bit of stealth involved and a bit of cunning. Like, they are lurking around corners, they are in the shadows, but they don't move a great deal. And you wait. Alien and Aliens, and Alien 3, you see what they can do. The speed that they've got, the grace, the balleticism, the athleticism, and all that. A lot of sisms there. They're able to do this, that, and the other. And they move sinuously and with a lot of weird alien fluidity. Very sensual, but very fast when they need to be. But these don't. They don't do fuck all. I know. There's a few attacks, but not many. Not many. I say about 10 minutes of the movie is xenomorphic action. Yeah, you have the zero G stuff, which I'll be honest, that was something that has not been done before in an Alien movie, and yeah, I liked it. There's trying to, you know, it's just a shooting gallery. It's the robot sentries, but it's what's her name again? Rain, who's now got the proto pulse rifle, who she gets trained how to use it. Very similar to Hicks teaching Ripley in Aliens how to use it. Interestingly enough, there's a few gizmos on this older pulse rifle which make it actually better than the pulse rifle that they use later on. Now, having worked in the military, I know how they do cost cutting, and certain weapons are modified, and sometimes not for the better. Mostly for the better, but sometimes you want the older system that you had. So maybe there's some kind of allusion to that. I don't know. And it's white as well. It's got more gizmos on it, and a superb tracking aiming system on it as well. You know, just point it there, and you can't fucking, once you've locked on it, you can't fucking lose the target. So in the zero G, she's blowing loads of these away. But then of course you get the acid. You've got to evade the acid, and it was quite a good scene. You have a crash, their ship, with pregnant Kay. What's her name again? Isabella Renault, I think her name is. Well, she's pregnant already. To Bjorn. I've got to get these names right. The two blokes, the blokes are shite, to be honest. I can't even remember what happens to either of them. They die, but I can't remember how. But she is pregnant. They learn about the black goo. She gets attacked by a Xeno and dragged off and cocooned. They will find her, and it's one of the moments when Andy reveals that, you know, you can't trust him because he's been reprogrammed, or he's working to the company's program. Well, he won't open the door to let. Again, it's a throwback to letting Kane come in from Alien, I suppose. But, you know, no, I won't. And he dresses up because, you know, let the alien in, it's going to kill more humans, and I can't allow that to happen. So she gets dragged off, but they will find her, and she's pregnant, but she's injured. And they discuss about this black goo, and this is what I think I've got to see it again, because she'll be in pain and she'll be on their ship to get out again, if I remember rightly. And she injects herself with the black goo. The black goo's got a name. It's got a name. The Prometheus strain. That should have been obvious, shouldn't it? The Prometheus strain. And she injects herself with it. But I don't know how she knew that it supposedly can heal you, because she's injured and she's got a baby. But of course, what does it do? It mixes with her DNA. It instantly transforms her baby, and she has a vaginal, not a chest birth. And what comes out in the final act, just when you think things couldn't get any crazier, oh, they do. And she gives birth to a human Xeno hybrid, which looks like a Slender Man crossed with an engineer, and does not look impressive at all. It just doesn't. I don't know at this moment in time. I don't know if it's a man in a suit, or if it's a practical effect with puppetry or CG. I don't know, but I know I didn't like it. You've got Doug Jones, who's super thin, rake thin, plays a lot of like spindly creatures in movies, but I've never seen his name attached to this, so I don't think so. But it's not a scary beast. But the final act will be a battle with this thing, and it's crap. Honest to God, there's a lot of action, a lot of suspense to it, but you're not scared of this thing at all. It looks pathetic. This spindly tall bastard. Massive callback, of course, to Alien Resurrection with the newborn. I had to think then which one it was. With the newborn. Everyone hates the newborn. I don't. I actually felt sympathy for it. Yeah, I know. And I think it's because of its face. It's looking to Ripley as its mother and all that. Like, and it's the sound effects that it makes, which I'm like, oh my God, I'm a father. And it, you know, I thought, oh God, that's actually getting me. When I first saw Resurrection, I thought, you're kidding me. What the hell is this? Oh my God, I feel sympathetic towards it. And of course, the way it goes, literally sucked out and crushed on the way out. I felt very sorry for it. And they're playing on that with this thing. But this thing is shit. Looks shit, sounds shit, is shit. And I suppose it was inevitable that you're going to, with all the mutations and evolutions and adding to mythologies and life cycles of the xenomorphs and all that, and what human interaction could do, it was inevitable you're going to get this. But it's just the speed of the growth and all that. It's just, it's really rushed. Everything's massively rushed. So pace-wise, the film, I love the first act. But people say, like, you know, oh, well, you know, it's an hour before anything actually happens. I disagree. The world building was great. And if you look at Aliens, it's an hour before they get to, they start, you know, yo, stop your grinning and drop your linen. Because he found them. He found the colonists. They're all over in the air in sub-level 3 or whatever it is, like. And that's an hour into the movie. So what? You've had great stuff on the way to that, and you have in this. It's just that once the action kicks in, it doesn't stop, and it's repetitive, and you don't really care. There's no gore to speak of, really. There isn't, folks. There isn't. Don't care what anyone says to you. You may have a different threshold for gore and disturbing imagery, but this is tame, even by Alien standards in the franchise. Tame and tepid. And the deaths. What? Let's work it out now. Who dies? Andy gets damaged, but they put him in a stasis tube and all that. Like, so they can build him. Kay dies. Navarro dies. Rook gets killed. Tyler and Bjorn die. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Call it 5 deaths. Really, even the first Alien, everyone dies apart from Ripley and Jonesy. That's more deaths in that already. This, Jesus Christ. The visual effects are great. Actual visual effects are great. They are. The crashing of into their ship ends up crashing into the hangar of the Romulus. Mucho damage and visually superb. You've got some sort of almost like ice skating across the asteroid belt, the rings around Jackson 5. I was going to say then. Is it called Jackson 5? Jackson Star, the Jackson 5. Ow! God. Yeah, oh God. Yeah, it's a lot of chasing, a lot of people stuck in certain environments, and how are we going to get out of this? And then each new successive scenario is trying to top the one before it. But when you get to the final act, it's like, I'm not really bothered about what's after you, because it looks shit. I'm like, oh dear. And well, anyway, she will survive. Rain survives. She's not sure if she can get to this other planet. She's got enough stuff to get there. Hopefully she'll arrive at this other planet. Put herself into hypersleep. She's got Andy's there as well, and but he's damaged. But their final payoff is, of course, like the signing off of Ellen Ripley, Warrant Officer Ellen Ripley, Nostromo from Alien. It's very similar to that, if not identical. And it's another cringy moment. Like, oh, really? Do you have to go there? Do you have to do this? We're not stupid. Can't you tell your own story without doing these endless callbacks, harkbacks, homages, Easter eggs, references? And there's many more. There's many more. I said earlier, don't play that game. Once you've started spotting them, it's going to take you out the film altogether, and it will annoy you because there's that many. Almost every sequence has a reference, be it dialogue, be it music, be it a visual reference, or a reenactment of a scene that you've seen before. The film is competently made, it's enjoyable, and it is, I can't lie, it is exciting, but it's also an unfulfilling, unsatisfying experience. At least I thought so. All these people going, it's the best it's the best. Oh, as if. Fuck off, you know, are you stupid? You've just watched it once and it's the best movie ever. Oh, fuck you. Grow up. And watch it again, and then you go, yeah, actually, shit. The gauge of a film like this is how many more times in the future are you going to watch it? And I can say this, even though I'm old and I grew up with Alien and Aliens, you know, when they first came out, I was there. I saw them the day they came out, you know. Even though I did that, I know there's people of many generations later than me that have embraced these older movies and are massive, ardent, devoted fans of Alien, Aliens, Alien 3 in some cases, Alien Resurrection in no cases, but they love the originals. And they've watched the AVP stuff and, God, you know, all that bollocks. And Prometheus and Covenant, but they still revere the original two. Now, they haven't been, it's not been rammed down their throats like a facehugger, you know, planting its seed, you know, down your gob. They've seen value, worth, and the talent and the sheer class of these movies. So to say about this movie, it's the best yet, and there's many that have said it, it's the best yet, it stands head and shoulders alongside, you know, Alien and Aliens. You watch it again, I'm afraid you won't watch it as many times as you watched the first two. You simply won't, and there's your benchmark. How many more times will you sit through this? There's not enough shocks in it. I came back and watched Alien, and the shocks were still there. The atmosphere, or lack of atmosphere, on LV-426, or Acheron as it should be known, was the original name for the planet. Planetoid. That was still, it still remains one of the most realistic depictions of an inhospitable alien planet. Cold, bleak, there's nothing there. Might be sun up here. Cold, deep cold, well below the line. You know, it's a horrible place to be, and you can terraform it as much as you want. But in Alien, that is still one of the best depictions of an alien planet ever. And the derelict and the space jockey. But now it's an engineer. Oh, fuck off, you know. Don't explode the mythology that you create. Alien is perfect. Even though, Planet of Vampires, the Terror from Beyond Space, but Geiger's design work and the whole Walter Hill, Ronald Shusett, Dan O'Bannon, their story is impeccable. It's space, cosmic exotica. It hints at things. You find out things as the crew find out things, but there's never any genuine answers. Who is the space jockey? How did Derelict get there? Why are the eggs in there? Was it transporting? They're stuff that fans built up afterwards. And then because the film was a big success, it gets Aliens. Aliens expands on the mythology with the Queen, obviously. Which again breaks with the whole egg morphing thing. But now they say, it can do both. Basically saying they can do anything now. Anything. With the black goo, you can do whatever you want, you know. And so it's a big get out clause, and I hate that. I hate things being explained in successive and inferior movies. How dare you? I didn't need to know this. I didn't need to know. Like, look at The Thing prequel, which they stupidly called just The Thing. No, it's got its merits. I like the film, but I did not need to see what happened at the Norwegian camp. Dr. Copper and R.J. McCready creeping through the remnants of that smouldering camp and finding the frozen corpse, and then the big ice block, and then something in the eye. Is that a man in there or something? You know, help me find a shovel, Doc. You know, I don't need to know all the ins and outs of that. That's where the imagination kicks in. And with the Alien franchise, it's the same, but to the nth degree. You're explaining everything, not just how the xenomorphs were created and the black goo and all that, and Weyland-Yutani's despicable, nefarious business. But now it's like the birth of mankind with the engineers. I'm like, oh, you fuck, what? Will you just stop with this? And you can see that this is why James Cameron withdrew his support for this movie, allegedly. Although I have seen it written quite a bit, actually. He was all for it, and then he saw the ending they went with about the human-alien hybrid and the whole use of the black goo and all that, and he was like, oh, hang on a minute. You were making an exciting balls-out chase, thrill fest, roller coaster ride with Xenos and, you know, people in jeopardy, which is what I did. But you had the mythos of the Alien saga, or the beginning of it anyway. And then you went with Ridley Scott's stupid stuff with Prometheus and all that. So we're like, oh, fuck this. But obviously, Sir Ridley, Sir Foul-mouthed fucking Ridley fucking Scott, you know. History be damned. Were you there? You weren't there, so fuck off, you know. I'll do it. I've been making films since before you were sucking at your mum's tit, you know. He can be a right crude bastard, you know. And I love the guy. He's made so many great movies. Alien, Blade Runner, Legend, Black Hawk Down, Gladiator, you know. He's made so many great films. And I think he's a fabulous filmmaker, but I think he's lost the plot in the last 10 years, certainly. And stop making movies, really. Please, stop. Please. I implore you. Just fucking stop. I'll put it in language you understand. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, Ridley. And cheers, Fede Alvarez. There's massive talk of we want to follow on to this. It doesn't close down a follow-up, but it doesn't create one. And here's a plus point to this movie: it doesn't leave you hanging like that, and someone finds, oh, there's a file of black goo. There's the chip from, you know, Rook. You know, and we can learn all this, and like another element takes it. Sorry, I should say it's on a collision course. Explosion with the hangar sets the orbit of the Romulus off course, so it's going to plunge into the rings of the Jackson 5. So yeah, it's going to be destroyed anyway, but there you go. But we know that Weyland-Yutani don't stop there. There's another puzzle as well, which I haven't worked this out either. Weyland-Yutani must have known everything that took place on that. You've got Rook that knows everything. He must have been transmitting stuff back to them, to headquarters, you know, in the Tyrell Corporation. Or is it Conam 27? So they must know what's happened. Why didn't they go out there? It may get addressed in the film, and I've overlooked it, but why don't they go back out there? They know exactly what was going on, and the mission still comes first, because obviously Rook is still transmitting stuff, hopes to be transmitting stuff, and he has this thing about if you're escaping from here, you're going to take some of this black goo with you. That's one of the plot elements as well. You're taking this shit with you, because, you know, Weyland-Yutani know best. You know, the future of mankind lies in not synthetics, but the perfect organism. No, they want it for the weapons division. I don't know, folks. I don't know. Where does it sit in the rankings? Everyone's doing this, the rankings of the Alien movies. Well, Alien and Aliens, for me, sit sort of together. If I want to watch an action-packed, entertaining, fun thrill ride, I go for Aliens. If I want to watch a horror film, I'll go for Alien, without a doubt. So really, it's Alien, Aliens, Alien 3. Now, what a surprise. And then, probably surprisingly for you, I'll probably put Romulus next. Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Romulus. And then I put Resurrection. It's a comic book movie. There's some fun elements in it. But overall, it's just a fucking, what the hell was that? and then I'll put Prometheus and then Covenant right at the bottom, and then the AVP turds, you know. But so it's fourth. It's ranked fourth. No, it's not. It's fifth, isn't it? No, hang on a minute. No, it's fourth. Alien 3, Romulus. Yeah, it's fourth. So, and it's a competent movie, and it's an enjoyable film. It's just that there is a lot of elements which really piss me off. The dialogue callbacks are too much, and they're painful. They're painful to sit through. The offspring, as it's called, the human xeno hybrid, is one of the worst things I've seen for a long time. The gores and shocks are low and few and far between. There are stingers, there are like jump scares, but you know, again, everyone's threshold's different. I didn't jump once, not once. The music by Benjamin Wolfish, which I would have been playing, but as explained before why I can't do that. The PC's dead, and the Amazon music thing is on my phone, which I'm recording on right now, so I can't play it, damn it. And there's no other device that can do it. So it's okay. In the film, I wasn't enamored with it in the film while the film was playing, and I was listening out for it as well. I recognise a lot of stuff in there, because all the other scores are referenced, every single one of them are referenced somehow. A little bit here, a little bit there. Mainly Goldsmith, obviously. But even little twangs of Total Recall, which is Jerry Goldsmith again. And also Danny Zeitlein's 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers. There's a huge element of that. I'm trying to remember the scene now. It's a churning, sort of bubbling element, but I thought, that's Danny Zeitlein from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And it's a great moment as well, but musically speaking. But I downloaded it last night. I bought it officially, downloaded it, and listened to it after watching Alien. So it's about 3-4 in the morning. I was playing it, and I thought, you know what, I quite like this. But I know that the film score aficionados, especially fans of all the other Alien scores, do not like it because I've seen a lot of their back chat already, and they don't like it. But it's nowhere near. It's the worst out of all the Alien scores. Even Covenant, Jed Kersel's score for Covenant, I think it's great. It's one of the best things about the bloody movie. The score's wonderful. It's got some really suspenseful, exciting, adrenaline-fueled moments, which are really fucking... It's a metronomic pounding beat, and you're like, oh my god, it's really edgy stuff. I like it. This is just, again, like the film itself, it's a greatest hits, pick and mix of everything. This is KILT-MAN, last survivor of Kilt Mansion, signing out. Yeah. Go see it, folks. I'm pretty certain you'll mostly enjoy it. I did. But then you'll come back and go, oh, you know what? All the hype and all this. And you start reading all the reviews. A lot of critics have been really slavish about it, which I don't really understand. But even like mainstream critics, people do this for a living, which I once did. Well, not for a living, but I did it a hell of a lot. I wrote for papers, I reviewed for radio and for magazines, and then massively went online with AV forums and DVD review and other sites. And it became your passion, and you took it like it was, you knew your stuff, so you were intellectual about the movies and the directors and the cast and everything about it. And you know what I'm like, I'll cover every single finite detail. And I'll base it on a lot of years of, movie knowledge and movie experience. But I've noticed that a lot of actual mainstream, decades long in the running critics have really promoted this movie. It's the best thing forever, the best thing since Aliens. And you're really pushing things, and it isn't that good. It isn't. Step back, You have to step back. We all play a part in promoting things. I clearly do it here as well, but I like to think that I do it from a very personal perspective, and I don't mince my words like Sir Ridley. I don't mince my words, and I say exactly what I feel. And sometimes, you know, your first opinions of a movie, for example, Evil Dead, Fede Alvarez there, I despised it. Loved the gore, but despised the characters and hated the direction the film took. It took a couple of years. It took more than that, in fact. About 5-6 years to revisit it and suddenly appreciate what he was doing and how it's not the jokey version that we've seen before at all. And you're bringing in a bunch of people that I can't initially stand, but that's clearly the point. You're not going to like any of these people, but I'm going to put you through an experience alongside them, and you're going to suddenly become an ally of the person who was one of the villains, who's now a good guy, and we want her to succeed and be victorious. And it works. It bloody well works. Don't breathe. They're a bunch of bastards who break into a blind man's house. But oh dear, the blind man's even worse than they are. And it's great. And I like the way he does that. So, you know, but this, I think, it's along the same road as Fede Alvarez has been travelling, but it's also a watered down version of his actual vision. And for that, it's without a doubt, it's Ridley Scott who has compromised the vision here. This is not the greatest film ever made, as if. It certainly isn't the greatest Aliens film ever made, although some are claiming it. But it's a passable, enjoyable entry in a long-running franchise, which is not going to end because we've got aliens on Earth. We've got the Alien TV show coming next year. God alone knows what's going to happen with that. The Xenos just don't know when to stop, do they? Or rather, the suits and the studios and the producers don't know when to stop. And with the undoubted success of this movie, because it's cleaning up already, there'll be more Alien movies as well. So folks, there you go. That was all over the show, wasn't it? That was just, God. I'm not even sure if I did it mullet-style. It was more like just Spaghetti Junction style. It was just fucking all over the place. Overall, I enjoyed it, but I was also disappointed. Greatly disappointed by it. It ain't no great shakes. David Johnson is not the big fucking superstar breakout actor that everyone's making out. Oh, he has a bit of an arc. That's it. Well, it goes from like bullied, you know, innocent naivety to tyrannical power, and then back again. Yeah, there's an arc there, but it's not particularly wow, super impressive. Kaylee, Smiley, Diley, whatever everybody's name is. Oh God, did you see it at the premiere? The dress she wore. Oh my God. Yeah, I likes her, I does. She didn't leave a lot to the imagination in the old derriere region. My God. But the blokes in this don't fare so well. They're not as bad as the trailers made out. There's something in the fucking water. How does he do it? He mangles, he does a Cockney and he does a Mancunian accent at the same time. He goes, there's something in the fuck. That's the Scottish. There's something in the fucking water. The water's the Cockney bit. He does speak with a Cockney accent in the movie, he does. But it's not disruptive at all. And I didn't hate them, but I didn't warm to them either. And their deaths were not that spectacular. Don't go looking for spectacular deaths at all. It doesn't happen. The chest burster is limp. It's limp. It tries to be a fucking blue veiny hard-on, but it's absolutely lackluster. And from the likes of Fede Alvarez, who likes his gore, his practical gore effects, well, there isn't any, folks. It's bereft. It's a hard R. In this country, it's a 15. And we have a new BBFC head. And it's none other than Natasha Kaplinsky. Yeah. Hot babe. Natasha Kaplinsky, ex-newsreader, who also did exceptionally well on Strictly Come Dancing. That BBC's biggest ever show, but also it's most controversial now with all the behind the scenes gossip coming out. Bullying, nastiness, sexism, misogyny. Oh dear, it's nasty, nasty, nasty. But I think she won it actually. She's the head of the BBFC, and I was going to do a video on this a while ago. She's now realised we're going to up the certain movies which would have been a 12 or a PG. They're now going to be a 15. Certain 15s are now going to be an 18. Big deal. A lot of people got up in arms about that. He goes, well, no. Well, that means I'll be buying my films from another country. No, you won't, because the film still exists. It's just got a different age rating on it. However, they have banned the film. The first film banned for about 15 years. I could have made that up there. Not sure, but I forgot what the film is as well. But it's a film of absolute depravity, and I don't believe in banning films at all, but unless it's real, obviously, and it's paedophilia. But they have banned the film, and it does involve copious sexual offences and real nastiness. And now you all want to get it. I know you do, and I've forgotten what it's called. But it's the first film officially banned by the BBFC, and it's under her control as well. She's in charge, and she's gone, I'm not having this shit, no. But what again makes me wonder about Alien Romulus. Everyone's going, oh, it's the nastiest, the gnarliest, it's grisly, it's so disturbing. Is it bollocks? And it's a hard R. It's a fucking 15 in the UK. A 15. Which means goal, basically. Right, folks, I've guzzled enough of this. I could be here all day. And my mate Steve did all these canvases. He's in there now watching it. By the time this video finishes, you'll probably walk out. Folks, I have been on with Shabby KILT-MAN. Please, in the meantime, and as ever, avoid the black goo in between time. Please keep it Kilty, keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see you all. And I was going to do the spoiler review. I do believe I've done that. Yeah, I think I have. But I know we'll talk about this again. I know we will. Comment below, let me know what you think of it, because you're all out there watching it now. And some of you are going to love it and hate what I've said. Some of you are going to agree with what I've said. Hey, opinions, they're like arseholes. Everybody got one. I know someone who's got 2 arseholes and talks out of one of them all in time. Yeah, it's me.